Hosanna, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's snowy and blustery here in the
Oh, it
Pacific
is?
Northwest. Yep, and it's Saturday, so
Oh, that's nice.
I'm enjoying a Guinness
Oh.
to celebrate another successful week of songwriting. So
Just plain old coffee for me.
same color, so there we go.
Yeah.
Well, Hosanna, you went first last week.
I did.
So how about I'll go first this week,
That's a great idea.
and
I'm
then
so
I'll just play the song and then tell you kind of my process and my thoughts after.
awesome.
So, okay, this song is called "Hard Reset," and let's see if you can hear it. All the ways life has let you down, all the ghosts that follow you around, all your expectations of the truth, just hallucinations of a fool. Looks like you let them get the best of you. Come down from the rail, come back from the ledge, come away with me. I know you're fighting yourself, I know you're stuck in your head, prisoner of memory. Take a breath, take a walk with me. Let's watch the wind blowing through the trees. We'll power down for a hard reset. The fight is coming at you from all sides. There's a fog of war that clouds your mind. Desperation in the siren song, the search for your salvation, all gone wrong, was a losing gambit all along. Come down from the rail, come back from the ledge, come away with me. I know you're fighting yourself, I know you're stuck in your head, prisoner of memory. Take a breath, take a walk with me. Let's watch the wind blowing through the trees. We'll power down for a hard reset. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank
That's a banger. It's brilliant. That
Thank you.
chorus
Mm.
is so catchy,
Hmm.
memorable, and but I've also it's not something I've ever heard before.
That's
Like it
always
doesn't sound like,
the
you
fear,
know,
right?
right.
It's
That's
like
I
I
always
ripped this
think
off from I don't know when.
totally. No, it sounds
25,
like
whatever.
yeah, it sounds like a song that has like already been a hit, you know?
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. It's brilliant. I think it's a really singable melody. It's not
Hmm.
too complicated, it doesn't jump around too much, but it varies enough that like every line like you're excited to go to the next one as
Hmm.
well because it's like, ah, the next part's even better, and then the next part's even better, and then he just keeps going. I
Thank you.
love it. And I love the lyrics too.
Hmm.
The part where you said the search for your salvation all gone wrong. Whoa.
Hmm.
I feel it's cool because like each of those lines it is specific, but also broad. Like I feel like it's very relatable.
Yeah.
So I feel like you really caught the balance of like specificity and room.
Hmm.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
And I love the
Um,
instrumentation, the driving, like,
mm-hmm.
um, that's yeah, it's just so solid. So
Thank you,
solid.
Hosanna. I'm glad you liked it.
Dang.
I, uh, I mean, we talked about this last week, but most songs right after I've written them, I think they're the worst song I've ever written. Right? And it's like I was listening back to our conversation last week when you're like, when you finish a song and you're like, why am I doing this? You know, uh, but yeah, thank you. That's very kind and
So you did so okay,
yeah,
let me ask you a few
yep,
questions about like the process.
yeah,
How did you start this one? Was it lyrics, melody, beat,
yeah. I s-
progression?
I started with just guitar chords, and I found an interesting chord, and then I kind of moved it the cape. I just on my acoustic, and then I just capoed until I found kind of a tonal range that I thought I like this chord in that range. Um, and then I don't remember exactly what I was playing, but I was like, oh, I feel like there would be a little electric do do
Hmm.
do 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 do. And so when I first, and I don't have the original, well, I probably do somewhere have the original sound recording because I've been taking little snippets, sound recordings on my phone just throughout the process, so I don't lose, you have, yeah. But the initial chords, I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like, and I did some kind of mumble lyrics
Hmm.
melody. And I was like, oh, this kind of sounds or reminds me of like Chris Cornell from
Mm.
Soundgarden, he's my guy. So I was like, yes, I'm going with this. And then I started playing the chords, and then I had the idea for the electric part, and then that really is what grabbed me,
Hmm.
um, which surprised me. And
Hmm.
then I'm trying to think of the next. So the melody was almost an afterthought, but once I guess I'm coming to the conclusion that once I have basic chords outlined and a melody, I I can write it about anything.
Right.
You know,
Interesting.
because before and again, I know we talked about this last week too, but like my process is typically to start with lyrics. So this has been a really kind of freeing, liberating experience to say like
Hmm.
just pick up the guitar and do something, or pull the keyboard out and do something, um, and then you'll have the opportunity, you'll have something to say. Because I've been
Mm.
so worried about like, well, what am I gonna say? And part of it, I joined the Nashville Songwriters Association International, which is it's just a group of songwriters, but there's the feedback they typically give is so industry specific
Uh-huh.
that it's like your hook should be this, and
Mhm.
you got to have the this and this has to resolve to that. So I've realized this last year I've been really focused on writing in a way that a Nashville writer would write, which is not
Mhm.
really, I'm not going to be a Nashville writer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
glad I've learned some of that, but this process was very, it just felt very organic and kind of
Hmm.
free, and really satisfying in that regard. So
So you had a different song up until Thursday.
yeah, the rodeo clown,
The rodeo clown song.
which I will write
Cannot
one
wait
of these days.
for that one. But so on Thursday, you scrapped everything
Yeah,
and you just completely started from scratch.
literally everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, and I'm gonna hide. Sorry, I'm hiding my face because I keep looking at my own face, and it's driving me crazy. Yeah, so I scrapped everything. No lyrics, no melody, no chords, no nothing. Um,
Wow.
and part of it was that song was kind of a blues song, which is fine. But I realized like that's not really what I envisioned for this activity with you. Is I really wanted to
Mhm.
push myself into like creation, and not that blues isn't creation, but it's 1/4/5,
Mhm.
and then I know where the turnaround's going to be. And so
Mhm.
I didn't want a song. I didn't want songs to write themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'll write that one of these days. But then the lyrics to this were interesting because it started, I don't really know what the imagery I had initially, but I was just kind of thinking about somebody wrestling or somebody fighting, and then when I got to the chorus, I had this image, not to get too dark about it, but somebody kind of like on the, preparing to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
And that's not what this song was. That's not what I meant for it to be about, but it was kind of that, like, I think more than anything, I was talking to myself about, I've had kind of a rough year, and there've been these times where it just felt like, oh, this is the way it's always going to be. Right. So when you're stuck in these really dark places, it's like, well, this is my life now. When the reality is like, no, gosh, take a step back, and that line about going and watching the wind blow through the trees, like that's just always something that when I have anxiety or when I'm stressed or when I am depressed, like I find comfort in that every time, is going for a walk and seeing the wind blow in the trees. It's just like a beautiful thing. So
It's like a reset.
yeah, and it was just kind of
Love
this
that.
meandering process of coming up with these lyrics, and I was a little nervous, or not nervous, but when I finished, I stepped away and I was like, well, I don't have time to rewrite this, number one. So that's the beauty of a deadline.
Yes.
It helps you edit very efficiently. But initially I was like, oh my gosh, these lyrics sound like somebody trying to sound smart. And that wasn't my goal. My goal was just like, I was just kind of enjoying like one of the rhymes here. Expectations and hallucinations. I've never rhymed those words. I never really thought about those two as rhyming words, or desperation and salvation. Outside of a congregational worship song, I would have never, ever, those would not have made their way into a Jeremy Herzer song. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
it just was fun, and surprising. Yeah.
It's funny that you said that when you read the lyrics, you thought it sounds like someone trying to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause those are the thoughts that go through my head
Yeah.
too when I'm writing. I'm like, do I sound pretentious? Do I
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
like I'm full of myself? And
Yeah.
for some reason, I'm just obsessed with that. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to look like
Yeah.
a know-it-all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is such a disservice, I think, because
Yeah.
those are things that are like coming to mind,
Yeah.
and and it's a craft, so it is effort, right? I feel like sometimes just me taking the time and putting effort and trying to make it what I want it to be
Yeah.
can feel pretentious, which
Yeah.
is so silly.
Yeah. Yeah. It, I heard this, I can't remember what song it was. It was at the gym, and they had, they always play the workout music, and it was like Blink 182 or something, and something, my insecurity. And I was thinking about like, oh, I would never write that directly.
Huh.
Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
I would work my way around using the word
Yes.
insecurity. And I realized like, oh, this is a great song.
Wow.
And like, I never, I don't judge that person for using the word insecurity in there. I was like, this is perfect. It's simple. It's to the point. And so, it was just a good reminder to me that like, yeah, you can do this any kind of way you want to do it. So I don't know. It was fun.
Someone once told me that if you write a lyric that feels it makes you feel like insecure or vulnerable, it's probably honest.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably like you probably need to say that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you feel this, but like I've hidden like the truth or like how I really feel, even in a song that I'm
Yeah.
writing to communicate how I feel. I
Yeah.
will somehow mask it in artistry or a melody or instrumentation or whatever, so that I don't have to actually confront
Yeah.
this
Confess it.
thing, right?
Yeah.
And I have noticed I do that a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's, we're all, it's a lot to ask of a person to just like tell the truth.
Oh, yeah.
And I also think like some people or I should say all of us at different stages in our lives, there's only so much truth you can take at one time, right? When everything's great in your life and you're living high and you're like, you can just swallow that stuff by the gallon. But like when you're raw and you're, kind of in the margins, like sometimes you can only take a spoonful. And I think we need poetry for that exact,
That's a very good way to look at it. Yeah.
So.
That's brilliant. I love it. I mean, this is awesome.
Thank you, Hosanna.
I hope that I would love to hear this with a full live band.
Yeah.
I would love that. So hopefully one day this becomes that.
Taste of Colorado. 2028.
Yes, 28. We have plenty of time. Good.
For rehearsals. Well, Hosanna, I can't wait to hear your song.
Okay.
What's it called?
Oh.
Do you have
I forgot about that part.
Oh, we can call it Untitled.
It's crazy. I always forget to name my songs. I don't know why. It just doesn't really, it's literally Untitled 4 in my jaw. But yeah, so I made the mistake of waiting until Friday night to write this. And by night, I mean we had friends over, we had, some drinks, and I was so tired. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. And it's actually not. I've done worse things, but I was not optimistic going into it. I was just like, okay, this has to be bad. It just has to be bad. However, what I did, because since I started with a beat, it ended up kind of being a bit more flowy, because I wasn't relying on a concept. I wasn't relying on a melody or a song structure at all. So I'm okay with how, I guess, the flow of the song turned out. It's definitely not something that I normally would write, but yeah, awesome. I'll just shut up and share. Let's see if you can hear this. I wanna know all your secrets. You don't have to hide, you don't have to lie. Tell me every detail of what's going on inside. I've seen it in your eyes, seen it in your eyes. There's a universe inside, a universe inside. I know it's hard to open up to someone new. I know you like to take it slow, yeah, I do too. I can be everything that you need me to be. Give me your galaxy. I just need you to be. Play it cool, keep it chill, pay the bills, call your mama every day, make sure everything's okay. You got everybody happy, but I know that's not the deal. I just want the real. I've seen it in your eyes, seen it in your eyes. There's a universe inside, a universe inside. I know it's hard to open up to someone new. I know you like to take it slow, yeah, I do too. I can be everything that you need me to be. Give me your galaxy. I just need Oh, I just need you to be. That's it. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm so fired up. That was so good. Hosanna, that is like lush is the word that comes to mind.
Ooh.
It is so good for, and I get what I hear what you're saying about a really simple beat, but I think actually the way you stacked your vocals in there and the chords you created with your vocal parts, like I actually like that it was over something really simple as a background. This really, to me, showcases your vocal ability, obviously, and also just kind of, because it's not just, oh, Hosanna has a nice voice. Like that was really clever and creative. And there's somewhere in there, you created I think you went from a major to a minor chord vocally with the, that was so
Thank
good.
you.
So good.
Ah.
So this is the kind of thing. So I think that this is one of those songs that feels to me like this. I can absolutely hear this being somebody's favorite song on the record, like kind of the hidden, because I don't, this probably isn't something you'd be like, here's the big Hatori single of all time, right? This is, but I love this song. I would enjoy this every time it came on. I love listening to this is a showcase of your voice. And also, so enough about that. I really like the word galaxy in there. I don't know what that is specifically about it. I like the rhyme. I would have never thought to rhyme that. And I like just visually and conceptually that thinking, like, and you've got the universe inside, give me your galaxy. Like, I really like this song a lot.
Dude, thank you.
So.
I was so I'm like, I don't know what I'm writing about. When I started this, I just no idea where this was gonna go.
Yeah.
But I think it just ended up being like I was thinking, I think as I was kind of coming up with just melodies to sing over this little progression. I think the first line that came out was, I want to know all your secrets, which I think just like as a person, that's kind of who I am, is I want to go deep really fast, and so I'm like, I guess I'll just go with it and see what comes out. But it was a weird one, because instead of writing like a verse and a chorus and a bridge or whatever, I did it like little section by little section. So you can see here, it's literally like I recorded this, and then I tried a few different ones, and then I did this section, and then I did the next session. Like it wasn't really planned or thought out.
Yeah.
I feel like it ended up working.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's not how I would have. It's not a song I've written before, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I'm say, So yeah, I feel like
cool.
Lyrics could have been more sophisticated. I feel like I could have, made the instrumentation more interesting, but I'm pretty decently happy with, at least I got to play with like the vocal layers and
Well, I think so. Again, just lyrically, this leaves me at a place of wanting to know more, which I sent. So one of the other things that Nashville Songwriters Association you can do is you send in songs and they have some random person evaluate it and send it back. And it's just a person's opinion.
Right.
But I've sent it. There's one of my songs that I've sent in to a few different people, and the feedback I got back from them consistently is like, you need to tell us more about who the people are in this song. But I feel like if I do that, any of the mystery that I experience in there or that other people experience is gone.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And like, I like songs like this because it makes I can see myself a little bit in it versus if you got, the more specific you get, the less I might see myself in it. Does that make sense?
I know exactly what you mean, and
Yeah.
that's actually the feedback that I get a lot. In one of the songs that I'm still working on, I've shown it to quite a few people, and one person said it's too broad.
Hmm.
Like you're trying to fit too many things into one song.
Hmm.
And then the other person said, no, that's what it needs to be because it's about that's what it's about. It's the
Yeah.
broad, it's the vastness, the complexity of it all. And I'm like, so and
Yeah.
I think this is what's difficult about music is
Hmm.
it's always going to be subjective.
Yeah.
You
It's,
know?
it's like, if you're trying to produce art that you feel like is honest, that you feel like is, maybe not 100% honest, but like is reasonably true,
Mhm.
right? Versus I want to produce a song that will get the most people to listen to it and enjoy it. I mean, those are two very different
Agree.
goals.
Yeah.
Um, I I love this, and this is what I associate with you, right?
Awesome.
Is just, by the way, I also, one thing that I really like about your vocal performances, and I heard it in this a couple times, is like you have this really beautiful, obviously your control is outstanding, but you have these moments where your vibrato gets big and kind of like almost out of the, I love it. I mean, it'd be one because there's the times where you hear that and it's like that's all you can hear, but just like a little taste of that. I think I heard it twice in the song. I was like, oh, it's so good.
Thank you.
Just wonderful. Yeah.
Oh man. It's funny. I keep forgetting that we had the same vocal coach.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Dr. Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, what a random
Yeah.
coincidence, but
Yeah.
what a dude.
I love this, Hosanna. I hope you are gonna do something with this.
I might. Thank
Yeah.
you. This next week I'm gonna start a lot earlier than Friday.
Well,
It'll be interesting to see
yeah.
how I write differently, with more freedom, I guess.
Yeah.
Less time constraints. It actually could be harder.
I mean, it is interesting the voice that just, because Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Well, when I was writing the Rodeo Clown song, I was like, man, I got plenty of time. And then when I punted that and it was starting over, it's like all the calculus changes. Like, dude, you do not have time to get cute. So
Mm-hmm.
just do it. Just
Yeah.
start doing so. Yeah, and you're gonna have to mumble a melody, whether you like it or not. You're gonna have to go to bed, and then you're gonna have to wake up and live with that, or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like you can't sit here and just stare at the page and search for the perfect word. Like you're
Right.
just gonna have to get after it. Anyways,
Oh, yeah. That's so true. Man, it's
yeah,
crazy that like songwriting is different for everyone, but there's so much
yeah,
the same. We
yeah,
just have the same
yeah,
experience. It's
yeah.
crazy. It's cool though. It's really cool.
I
Dude,
can't wait, Hosanna, to hear the next one next week.
uh, can't wait to hear
Yeah.
yours.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, onward.
Onward and upward.